Hey everyone, welcome back. Derek from Make Media Studios, and this week I'm going to be doing my part 3 to my behind the scenes of my White Claw commercial. This one I'm going to show you how I edited together this shot right here. Alright, so it would be a very long tutorial if I went through every step how I made this shot. I used After Effects to put it together, and I'm just going to show you the different composited parts so you can see how I put it together, and then maybe you can make something similar, maybe using techniques that you already know. Alright, so first it all began right here in Premiere Pro. I know that I wanted to sync these cans up to the beat of the music, so I needed to have that audio in After Effects. So that was the first thing I did. I counted out the beats. I know there was 2 sets of 4, okay? 4 for the cans to pop up into place, and then another 4 sets of beats for the fruit to come out, and that was what I was gonna do. So listening to this, 4. Those are the 4 beats, okay? So I needed that music to be able to create that. All right, so what I did to make this work was I cut, using C to cut there and there in my music, and then hit V. You could select it, right-click, render and replace. It's going to create a section of audio just for that section you cut out. Then you can right click on it again and reveal in Finder, and it's going to show you where it is. So this clip right here in my Finder window is the clip that was just extracted that I rendered and replaced. I can now take that clip into After Effects and use that as my sound template for making my timing cues for my keyframes. All right, so now let's jump into After Effects. All right, so normally I would break this down and do each part that I did so you could see how I built it, but I'm just gonna try to explain what I did so you can see it. I feel like if I did that, it'd be like a 45-minute tutorial, and I think that's a little bit long for you guys. I think you just wanna see how I put it together. All right, so let me just play this sequence through once and let it render so you can see the whole thing. So let's just break down each parts of these, okay? I'm gonna turn off the fruits here because these are the fruits inside of the cans. We'll throw those off, we'll throw those off. So now it's just the cans by themselves. And let me show you one of these cans here. So this one is the lime. Let's double click on this sequence. This is what it was shot as right here, okay? This is, let me fit this to the page here, okay. So this is the actual shot here. All right, so for this shot, I did it 120p on my Sony a7 III. It is with my television screen behind it. There is a flicker in this shot, which I didn't notice when I was watching it, when I recorded it, but there was a flicker. I thought that that might be a problem, but once I put the key light on there, it actually was just fine. So let me show you this effect here. Let's look at this can here. I'm gonna turn off key light, okay? So as you can see, there's the blue screen right there, and there's the key light. Let's go to the effects controls. As you can see, these are what I did. I keyed out the blue screen, and these are the settings I used. All right, so key light, you're gonna need to sample the background color, and then you're gonna need to adjust the settings to either get rid of the flicker like I had to, or just to have it so it doesn't bleed through on the can. I believe there was a little bit of blue on my can, but I got it to move away. As you can see here, I did position keyframes. So this is where it started, and this is where it ended. One of my tricks here for that type of come in, I like to use this portion right here, and I like to make this type of curve. Let me just show you real quick how I make that type of curve, because I use it for everything. I use it for my lower thirds intros. I like it to come in quick and then stop. It's kind of that, like, that's what this can is doing. It's ramping up to a quick dramatic hit and then stop. So let me reset these positions. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna click both of these, right click, Keyframe Assistant. I'm gonna go linear, just to reset it, okay? And now you can see it just does this gradual in and stop, okay? You go back to this, it's just a straight line because the velocity is constant. That's why that line is like that. It is a constant speed from the moment the can starts moving into the moment the can ends. It just looks like there's no slowdown. It really is good to, in your keyframes for when you're doing position changes, to ramp in or ramp out your velocities, okay? And that actually has, there's a thing in here. Let's get rid of this again. If you highlight both of these, right click on them, there's Keyframe Assistance, okay? You have ease in and ease out. Ease out is for the beginning keyframe, ease in is for the end keyframe. Instead of having that constant velocity all the way across, easy ease out means it's going to easily ramp up to full velocity, and then ease in is it's going to ramp down the velocity at the end. So watch as I do this. I'm gonna go easy ease in, right click again, and I'm gonna go easy ease out. Now when we look at this graph, it's an arc because it's from here ramping up to speed. There's the final and full velocity as it begins to ramp back down for the final stop. That looks something like this. It still looks really good, and I consider easy ease in and easy ease out as a very good start. But how I make that quick whoosh in and stop is I click on these keyframes here, and you just pull this one as far as you can to the right. It will eventually stop, and then you have that. So that does that quick. So all those cans have the same keyframes, okay? With that same ramp up quick and stop, because I like that whoosh in, okay? So that's the first thing. Then once you get all your cans, I use these rulers, by the way. You can click show rulers right here, show rulers, and then you can pull out, and I counted and made sure that these were perfectly placed across all 4 quarters of the shot so that I have good alignment for all my cans, okay? You know, then on top of that, what I made sure was that the rotation of the can, so I'm gonna pull this way. As I pulled this around and back and forth, I found when all the cans would line up perfectly. I believe I went over to when I had all the cans in the frame, and I moved these around first and found the perfect center spot. So once I lined them all up and I made them all rotate the same, then I started working on that position keyframes to make them pop into frame. Okay, and so the next part I did was after the cans all popped up, on the next beats, I did these opacity keyframes right here. So hit the stopwatch. By the way, that's how you do a keyframe. If you don't know how to do keyframes, I'm gonna have to do a tutorial a little bit in the future. This might be a little over your head, but you use keyframes here, you enable this, and when you make any changes in your opacity or the positions, those are keyframes. So this keyframe goes from a 100% opacity down to a 50% opacity. And those are done in line with each hit. So there's that one, the next can, the next can, the next can. Okay, so those are the cans. I made them come in, I made them dim during those second 4 beats, and the first 4 beats, they just popped into place. Then let's look at the first set of limes here, okay? Let's actually go to this sequence. This is what it looks like. Probably a little chaotic at first to see, but these are the different limes going across the screen. There you go. All right, I'm gonna disable all of these but one lime, and we're gonna break down how I did the lime, okay? So let's put that there. So this lime is just gonna sit right there. Okay, so now there's just this one lime, okay? Let me explain to you 2 cool things about After Effects. There's these things called expressions, okay? I can't dig all the way into expressions right now because I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly how they work, and there's so many different ones. But this one's wiggle, okay? It's an X and Y coordinate on the right side here in the parentheses, and the expression is wiggle. All right, so an expression you can add in there instead of doing keyframes, okay? An expression for this one, like wiggle, it's a randomized wiggle so that the piece just moves around the screen randomly, okay? And I applied that to a whole bunch of different limes to make them look like they're just floating around. Again, you also have one on the rotation. So rotation itself is just the rotation of the line, okay? So that's how it's rotating, and then the other one is wiggle, so it's moving around the screen, okay? I would love this thing to be on the screen. That would be great. Let's just move this over here. I'm gonna move this here. I'm gonna move this here. And move this right here. Okay. So I just move that. So you can see he just kind of goes across the screen randomly. That's what he does. The wiggle is moving it, and the rotation is the other expression that I've added. To add an expression is Option, click on the stopwatch, and that adds an expression. So I just removed that expression now. So now he's just rotating. I can click Option, Position again, and then I'm gonna paste back the wiggle that I had on there, okay? So now that adds a randomized wiggle to it. That's all I did for those. And I multiplied that over a lot of different limes. And let me show you the masks real quick. So let me just remove some of these masks for a second. Boom. So now you can see the drill. So this is the actual shot here. Boom. It's rotating on a drill. That's how I did that. And then I masked out the drill, and then I added that key light on there to just be a lime, and that was it. So let me put that drill back on there. Let's throw key light on, and now you just have a floating piece of fruit. And that's that. And then let's open up a whole bunch of them. So as you can see, I just started adding more at different sizes and locations. And once I had them all on there, I'm using these null objects. As you can see, null objects 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's just helping me choose different scales and starting positions for the limes, okay? By having different null objects. They're attached to these. So here's one null object there, and then there's a null object there, and the other null object's down there. A null object is just an invisible layer that you can attach objects to. So if you had 10 limes, and you all wanted them to be on this left side of the frame, you'd put them all linked to a null object and move that null object to that corner of that frame, and they would all link to it. It's just a simple way to control lots of different layers using null objects. Definitely look into null objects. They're a really cool thing in After Effects. So there you go. And you play that, that's what you got. Tons of limes flying across the screen, okay? So then when you go over here to the can sequence, now that I've enabled all the different fruits, let's take the lime section here. And I made a mask around the can. And then I turned that sequence sideways so it would be lengthwise of the can. And that's it. I put a mask around it. Let's delete this mask. Let's just delete this mask and check it out. Boom. You can see all the different fruits now just everywhere in that shot. You can see the original shot there. Now if we put that mask back on there around the can, then the fruits stay in the can. And that's it. Did that for each one of the fruits. I keyframed out the toothpick. I keyframed using masks, the toothpick going into the fruit, rotating at 120p. Put those all in different sequences using expressions to make them randomly move across the screen. And that's how I made that shot. Timing it to the music, rotating the cans, putting keyframes in there, masking out fruits. And that was it. I hope this was enjoyable for you. I don't know if I really went into super big in-depth on this because I just wanted you to kind of see how I put it together. Definitely start watching some tutorials on After Effects. It is a game changer. I started using After Effects a couple years ago, and I really enjoy using it. When I do special effects for different keyframe shots like this, I'm going to use After Effects. I also use it to create my lower thirds and my title at the very beginning of this video. My Make Media logo that plays at the beginning of some videos, that was also made in After Effects. Definitely dive into After Effects. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go down below, hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment if you have any questions. Let me know if you liked this style of tutorial, if you just like a basic overview of what I did, or you want to see me go more in depth. Let me know. I'm trying to figure out what you as the community here on Make Media Studios enjoys. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. This has been another tutorial by Make Media Studios. I'm Derek May, and we are out.